but their
Yeah.
point guard, I think of his name, but he's back and he was the engine that made it go last year. He's
He's the
still there.
straw that
That
stirs
little
it
that
up, huh?
all that stirs a drink, man. And so
What's up, squad? Welcome back to another episode of the Permian Basin Playbook podcast, episode 35, right, guys? We're in for 35.
35.
We're knocking these things out, y'all. I think we started at 18 this year with Coach Mickey Owens. Speaking of Owens, shout out to Coach Trevor Owens and the Peaster Greyhounds. They had a great year, man. Did you guys check out? I'm sorry, let me introduce my squad. Busta,
What's up,
Chavo,
guys?
Big Joe. I'm ready to talk some playoff football. How are you guys, man? I missed y'all.
It's
good.
been a couple of hours since we all saw each other.
Yeah, it seems just like 24 hours. But anyways, what I was getting at is there were some amazing playoff football games this weekend. Like I think I watched, I don't know, three or four, some really good games, controversial endings, man. The South Lake Carroll game, that was crazy.
Man, that South Lake Carroll game, gosh almighty, man. When you first saw it at the goal line, you thought he made it.
Yes.
It's not until, you see that helmet and you think that that's the football.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then after you kind of see it slow down, then you see him try to do the football after,
Yeah.
after he falls on the ground. But it's a great call by the referees because
Yeah.
that must have been tough to call, as violent as that was.
I think between this group, you guys sent three different perspectives on our thread of that
Well, and
play.
then Salina and Stephenville had a great game, kicked a 45-yarder as time ran out to send Stephenville over Salina. That was a epic game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Epic ending
it was
for
awesome,
sure.
man. So awesome. Very good games. I thought Peaster had a chance against Grandview. I think they lost by three. Um, if they'd converted a fourth down, right? And that kind of what it came down to, like with about 5 minutes to go in the fourth, something like that. They got stopped on a fourth and goal, and then they ended up later getting the ball back and they scored again, but it was just too late in the game to overcome that. But I was impressed, man. I can't think of any other games. Oh, Duncanville, they're really good at football, if y'all didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I read today that they have seven Division I commits.
It's
Golly.
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
How many does North Shore have?
I
well,
would guess the same, somewhere
Around the
around
same,
there.
right?
Yeah,
are they
That's
playing
going to
each
be
other
a hell of a
again?
game.
Are they playing each other again in state title?
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, it seems like they've been playing each other for the state title for the last 10 years,
They
man.
got the guys, dude.
Hmm.
Lone Star upset Alito, which I didn't see happening. And really, that game, I want to say it might have been 30-10 at one point.
It wasn't even close.
And Lone Star came back and apparently their quarterback is a sophomore and he's the real deal.
Mm,
Which you don't see Alito lose like that, you know? You don't see
right.
them
Yeah,
lose.
exactly.
It's
Man,
crazy, man.
Those
hadn't
Dallas
seen them,
teams are just insane.
hadn't seen
Yeah,
them in a long time.
the Duncanville running back is going to TCU, and then they have a defensive end that I want to say Florida. There might be two guys that are committed to Florida on Duncanville, and that doesn't even count the guys that are going to go to JUCO, that are going to play Division III, they're going to play Division II. That's unreal. You know, I would bet 15 to 20 kids off that roster are going to play at the next level. Unreal. It's crazy.
And that's, you know, so there's a little deal I used to say, our schools, everyone talks about how our football teams out here in West Texas are so far behind, but really that's not the truth. It's just we just don't have a lot of them. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
Dallas has, I don't know, 100 schools, right? Where we have four schools, and so
Right.
you
True.
Honestly, our best teams, like this past season, Odessa Permian, could beat the majority of the teams over there in Dallas. But they're always going to lose to a good handful of teams that
Yep.
have all. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that that whole thing about how we don't have the athletes and stuff like that. We do. We're just it's just in a smaller number because we're just
Yep.
small out here in
Yeah.
West Texas.
I agree, man. It's tough. It's tough. So shout out to those guys from West Texas that are still strapping it up, and shout out to the guys that are no longer getting to play anymore. I remember, and I know Joe and Chavo at some point. Busta, I know, you took your helmet off for the very last
I
time, and
did. I did.
it was sad, man. I remember thinking like, dang, this sucks, This sucks. I enjoyed playing football, and it's over now. So, anyways, we
Move
do
on,
still
guys. Move
have
on.
two teams that are playing for state titles. Wall Hawks, man, they beat Gunther, and great game. It was tight, 14 to nothing until halftime, and then Gunther came back and scored an unanswered 15, I believe, or 16 points. Um some great defensive plays by Wall. Their defensive end was 48, made two big time tackles for loss. And their punter, shout out to the special teams, Joe. You like this. Their punter punts a ball. I don't know how much time was left, but it was late in the game and gets them down on the 2 yard line. And they couldn't get it done. So that was huge for Wall, man. Special teams, guys. Special teams is huge.
What's their record?
They are undefeated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I
they're
thought
undefeated.
so.
They're talented. They're very
They've
talented.
got who they have Newton coming up in the state championship.
I believe so, yeah. And I think they can go and get them. I really do
Yeah, I think
think they
so.
go and win. Yeah.
They're very much a momentum driven team. Like, as long as they come out, hit them in the mouth, and get ahead in the beginning, like nothing really matters what happens the second half of the game
Yeah.
with them. They're very disciplined. They've always
I
been like
agree.
that.
Yeah.
I think
And they're yeah.
someone said this early on in our season that Wall was gonna win state.
I know
I
me and
think
Joe have been on the Wall train for a while.
Man, they're
yeah.
tough, man. The Wall Hawks have been tough all season. I think they're going to win it this week, so we'll see.
Me too, man.
Let's hope so.
What
Um,
uh what area is Newton from?
I have no idea.
Sounds like the Houston area school, but I'm not sure.
I have
I have
no
no
idea. It's got
really.
to be somewhere out there.
They're about to hit a wall.
That's it, baby. Shout
Dang,
out
you're
to the
about to
Wall
hit the
Hawks.
wall.
You have to clip that, Busta. Busta's got bars tonight, guys.
That's right.
All right. Also, shout out to the Rankin Red Devils. Again, you guys keep putting yourselves on the map. I saw them leave today. Had a big send off out in Rankin. They got a tough match against Gordon. And I think Joe was mentioning earlier that he believes they have 3 to 4 Division I athletes on that roster.
Yeah. Which is not normal in six man.
Unheard of.
You don't
I
hear
was
about
gonna
that.
say I don't usually hear y'all talk about
No,
Uh,
smaller schools having
no.
no.
I
many,
mean,
much less.
Carthage is 4A, and they have 4 or 5 Division
Mm,
One kids, and that's unheard of in the
Yeah.
4A ranks. So for a 6 man, that is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
Rankin's been they've been doing it. They've been doing it all year.
How many did you say they had? I was looking up Newton, my
4.
bad. Four.
4.
Wow. Yeah. Now for a six man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a small town. I played with a guy from Gordon High whenever I was in college. Shout out Kelly Crane. And one time the coach asked him because we were trying to discuss taking accountability for your record and your play and your ERA and all that stuff. He's like, "What was your record in high school?" And he was like, "I was like 68 and 15, coach." He's like, "No, not your team's record. Whenever you pitch, what was your record?" And he was like, "I was like 68 and 15 because he threw every single game from the time he was a freshman through his senior year, had a rubber arm, man. It's crazy. Gordon High. So yeah, anyways, good luck to the Rankin Red Devils. hopefully you guys get some rest, get some good film study and some practice in, and bring that state title home, man. It'll be sick.
They
I
play
think they
Wednesday.
play.
Wednesday.
I think they play. Yeah, Wednesday at like
Yeah.
11.
hmm
Yeah,
That's gonna be like a one possession game the entire game. Like,
it'll be fun.
yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a fun game to watch for sure.
It's like a track or like a track meet, the six man at that level
Yeah.
with those
It is.
level of kids.
One of my college roommates played six-man football, and they were required to be on the cross country team because of how physically demanding the running is in
Yeah,
six-man football.
I believe
Yeah.
it,
I
man.
don't think I've ever been to a six-man
No,
game. I don't think
I
I've
like it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's nothing like 11, man, right? The guy, the center is like their tight end. So
Everybody's
Mhm.
eligible.
he
Yeah.
snaps the ball and heads out for a pass. Like he's the main, like, he's one of the main guys that, is like the tight end. So
Yeah, and
so
like the
it's
guy that
busy.
receives the snap is not necessarily the quarterback.
no,
He pitches it to the guy who ends up being the
being
quarterback.
the quarterback.
It's like pitch pass all the
Really?
time. Yeah,
Because the guy that catches the snap can't, I don't think he can run or he can't throw or something like that.
I don't
So
know.
they catch it, and so that someone can be eligible to throw, he catches it and just hands it to the guy behind him,
Hmm.
and then he can do whatever he wants with it.
It's
They got
pretty
all the
cool.
guys running for passes. It's
That
cool,
sounds
man.
Kind of
cool.
schoolyardish a bit. It's kind of schoolyard a bit to it.
It's like I think we talked about earlier in these episodes, maybe last year. Monahan's, back when Fort Hancock was a powerhouse in six man, they often played all their playoff games in Monahan's.
Yes.
A couple, like 2 or 3 years, the state championship game was played in Monahan's.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't remember. I don't remember the state championship. That might have been before my time, but I do remember Dad taking me to a playoff game, and that's the first time I'd ever seen a six-man game here.
Yeah, so we used to go to them all the time. All the time. I'm still, man. They played like the same team 2 years in a row in state championship games, like Spring Lake Earth maybe
Hmm.
some school like that. Yeah, man, it's neat. It's neat. It's only 80 yards. The field's a little narrower.
Yeah,
But for six guys, that narrow field don't still's not narrow
huge.
enough. So big.
It's huge.
There are only 12 guys out there, trying to chase each other around.
Yeah.
So it works out.
So
It's pretty interesting.
going back to that South Lake Carroll game and the DeSoto ending, right? When we first saw the first angle, I text the group and I'm like, either the field judge had a parlay going on that game or he had a great angle. And then we get some other views start coming in and we look and turns out he did have a great angle and he made the correct call. So this week, our poll question was, should referees be required to talk to media like the players and like the coaches? And in this instance, my first thought was like, if there is controversy or something in this call, could it benefit them to sit up there after the game and say, look, this is what I was assigned to look at, and I saw it, so I made, you know what I mean? That type of deal.
Yeah.
And they can go a whole other like ways, but I don't know. And that's those are two big schools that might have some sway and some rulings. So I don't know. I'm curious of you guys' thoughts.
When we're thinking about this, we're always thinking of those bad calls, those big NFL calls, those game-changing calls. But I think just regular games, it would just kind of educate the public on their thought process of it.
Yeah.
I think all of us in our jobs have to explain our thinking, our process, or why we do things. I don't think they should be any different. But when I did a little research, I was just curious what the internet would say. And it talked a lot about the mental health of these referees and the scrutiny. And I'm like, well, we all have to face that. Why are they so protected? I mean, they're getting paid to do their jobs. I mean, just explain. To me,
Yeah.
it's very simple. Just explain it and educate, like why those calls were made, and then you don't leave blanks in so people can fill in their own narratives.
Yeah.
But you're talking about high school referees, right?
No, I'm
So
just talking about
I mean,
referees in
and
general,
honestly, yeah, I mean,
college, NFL, anywhere. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't think so. I don't think it matter. I mean, what's the referee going to tell you or
see,
us?
I would
Gonna
see,
say,
I think it
"Well,
would
this is what
start
I
like,
saw. They saw it. They saw it. They move on. I mean,
yeah,
if
right.
you ref in a game, man, it happens fast. Even if you're doing a little league game, like the little dribblers, you make a call. Even those little kids, you make a call that looks one way and you don't know, and someone's yelling in the stands or something.
Yeah, I've witnessed Keith at a few of those ball games.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like a pitch or something, So, nah, I think especially at if you're a professional, maybe, I don't know.
yeah,
Those NFL guys, the major league guys, NBA guys, those guys are professionals, and maybe that. But for high school, man, shoot, them guys are just helping out, man. If it weren't for those
That's
guys, we
true.
wouldn't have games.
Yeah.
So
If
this is kind
those
of a
guys do it just because they love the sport. They want to help out kids. They want to be involved. You know what I mean? And so, nah, I don't think they really. I think it would be too much.
so this is kind of a crazy take. But I kind of thought of like livestock judging, right? You have all these animals in the ring. The
it's true.
judge does his judging, and when he's done, he gives his reasons
He
as to
does.
why he selected his class. You know what I mean? I I could see where it can really be a game changer, like for athletics,
Yeah,
the same way it is for in the agricultural world. You know?
you're right, Chavo. You're right. This one's a
That's a
little
good
heavy in the front. This one's a little thick in the loins.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true. So I was thinking, great point, honestly. At first, I was thinking in the NFL and in college to start for sure, because they are professionals. And and then one thing that I did also think about was anytime you get into a state like basketball UIL, those kids do have press conferences immediately following the games. So maybe once you reach a regional quarterfinal or state semifinal level, then at that point in high school, you could set a press conference for the referees. But another point that I had was, and shout out to Gary, and he's a guy that helped got us in with the Burnett and Andrews game. Anytime he and I talk, he's a white hat, right? He's a head ref, and anytime he and I talk, we always get into like different scenarios of games and what they call. And I think one thing that has been surprising to me, and I feel like would be surprising to other people, is like similar to offensive and defensive players having certain keys. Like, if you play a defensive end, if the running back does this, you're supposed to do this. If the tight end moves this way, you're supposed to, you know what I mean? Those are certain keys that you have. Well, the referees have the same thing. They have during certain types of plays, they have certain areas they're supposed to be looking. And I don't think people all understand that. So in order to give them that platform to be able to say like, yeah, during this play, this is this set, I'm looking at this, so I'm not going to see the guy holding over here. That type of deal is something I thought of.
It's not necessarily a you see it, you own it. Also, like if it's out of your area, that's not your call. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
And
another.
I don't know. It just wouldn't. I don't think it would ever happen. It's just not going to happen. You wouldn't do that. You don't it just wouldn't happen. It's a pretty good, like I said, maybe in the pros, maybe because, like I said, they're professionals. But really,
Well,
man,
I have a stat for y'all. The
man,
NFL referees, I found this. The accuracy or source I didn't find. NFL referees are accurate 98.9% of all calls.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
NFL,
It's
Hey,
impressive.
compare that to MLB umpires. That's what I was about to say. They actually keep stats on MLB
Yeah, they do
umpires.
every single game. And there are review
everybody,
boards.
everybody, NBA refs,
Yeah.
MLB umpires, like everybody, they all get graded.
And you know what, Keith, when you posted this for us, I think the first thing I thought about are Mason's basketball games because I feel like those are probably some of the worst calls I've seen happen or
It's
lack
because
of
your baby's
calls.
out there.
Well, he is my baby, but it's also just frustrating, I guess. We were at that game a couple Saturdays ago where a ref made a call from the other side of the court, and we're like, "There's no way he saw
Yeah.
that." So maybe I'm hearing what Joe is saying, and I'm gonna read you something I found, and it makes me think of what Joe is saying. Placing them in front of the media after a game could give the impression that they're defending or explaining an impact on the game, which kind of undercuts their role. So I mean, I could argue either side for this, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and heck, it's hard to find the referees today in today's society anyway.
Yeah.
So the referee's going to get scrutinized every time he comes off the court for a high school game. He just ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
They only
Yeah.
get paid 60, 70 bucks a game. They're not gonna, then you gotta tell them that they're gonna have to go do these interviews and explain why they made a call. Well, they made a call because that's what they saw, right or wrong. And
Right.
they're only gonna get paid 60 bucks a game. They ain't gonna do it. Now you're gonna have any refs.
Yeah.
What I mean?
No, and I can
Yeah,
see
I
that
guess for me, I see it more in the bigger college.
yeah, like D1, you call Big 12 baseball on a weekend, you're probably walking out of there with $1,500. If you call a weekend series that's a Big
Yeah.
12, you can make a
Now,
lot of money.
But here's the thing, even in those higher levels, I mean, that's why they have instant replay. That's why they have all those. So when the refs do make a mistake, they have a chance to correct it there on the spot. Because let's look at in basketball. Basketball is the hardest sport to officiate, because I mean you can call something every time down court,
Oh
so,
yeah.
so it's hard. And
We
then
saw
in
that happen
baseball,
that game also. He had that same ref that
yeah,
pissing me off. He got two of his calls overturned.
yeah, you can, and then
I'm
you
moving on now, Keith. I'm moving
And,
on from that
baseball is
game.
just, basketball is just tough to call. Same with the balls and strikes. It's tough. That's why, the MLB does that. They do that. I think next year they're going to do the little square deal
Yeah,
where
where
it's going
they tap their hat. Yeah.
yeah, which makes it accurate. And you just want to get it right, really, at the end of the day. So that's why, because it's so hard to do that.
We'll have
Yeah.
AI call him behind the plate before
Which I
too
don't
long.
really like because I appreciate good catcher glove work that can get me 2 to 3 balls out. Now if we got a computer calling it, now I'm only getting half a ball out.
Very much now, baby. Yeah,
Right.
it's going right through that zone. You got to be at
That framework works sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of our catchers that we teach, we are trying to make it look better than what we're at. We're trying to receive it better than it's actually coming in. And, I always laugh at the guy that's sitting in the third deck that's yelling at the umpire, that was a strike. You can't see that, bro. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can't see that.
Yeah.
And even if you were exactly right behind the umpire, call a 97-mile-an-hour cutter and tell me how good you are. Like you have to see that stuff over and over in order to be 90% accurate. And even that in nowadays is not that great compared to some of the umpires that are calling. Like there are some really good umpires that are out there. There's some bad ones too, but
If you look at the MLB and you see a ESPN or Fox wherever they got that square, the umpires get it right most of the time. If
yeah,
they miss it's barely,
yeah, marginally.
very marginal,
Yeah.
so
I
Yeah,
think it's
it's
cool.
impressive.
Okay, so I always think about media side too. Why did our grandmas all watch novellas and soap operas? Because it was
For the
drama, right? Why
yeah,
did we watch Mari? Drama. Why do we
for the
watch
cheese
the
man.
news now? Drama. How much drama would those referee clips bring? And does
I
that
just,
ratings push them to do
yeah.
that more?
Hey, but we kind of talked about this at dinner. It's all scripted anyway, so.
Oh man,
scripted.
it
The
wasn't
only thing
scripted
that
for
the only
Pat to
thing
blow
that
his
isn't
stuff out.
scripted, the only sport that's not scripted is the WWE. It's the only sport that's not scripted.
Speaking of that, John Cena
Happy
retired.
retirement to John Cena. John
Can't
Cena
see
and the
me.
dog retired in the same week. That's
Yeah, no
crazy.
kidding. Shout out to Moondog, man. Our
Yeah, him and John Cena, two
yep.
two legends,
Y'all can't see him.
two legends.
We sure can hear him.
We even got a press conference with the dog last night. That was pretty cool. So,
I
well,
know
good.
my family was like, "You got home really late," and I'm like,
Yeah, Lynn said the same thing. She was like, "What took y'all so long?" I'm like, "Well, like the first 2 hours was legit 33 lead foundation, and the last hour we were interview. We had a press conference with the dog."
We interviewed the dog, and he gave us a background of everything. And he
Yep.
has to explain everything beforehand, then answer, and then explain why he answered. You're like, God dang, boy, just answer the
And we
question.
and
had some
yet
tough ones.
today I thought about like 5 more questions that we should have asked.
Oh yeah,
However, comma,
However, comma, something's wrong with that boy.
for sure. That's why it belongs to us.
That's
Mm.
I
right.
guess the dog retired from the pod too. Where's he been?
I don't know where he's been, man. He always acts like he's real busy, he
Yep.
ain't been.
He's
He ain't
putting
got
out
no
fires, guys.
excuses now.
Yeah, he's
Putting out
No
fires.
excuses now.
That's right.
I think I heard him last night say, "quote I've got a few things up both my sleeves." So
Yeah.
I don't know what that meant. I don't want to know.
Hide your
I don't want to
Theas.
Hide your tears.
All right. News and notes. Play the sound. Awesome. Okay. January 18th. We're getting geared up, y'all. We had a great meeting last night. Board of directors met and getting some stuff ironed out. We are so excited to meet you guys at the Bush Convention Center, downtown Midland on January 18th. This is going to be epic. It's going to be one of the most epic banquets that we've had to date. I can't wait. Busta, what about you?
I am so excited. And my news and notes is that the committee, not us, the committee made up of retired coaches and some media are meeting this week to go over those submissions, and they're going to pick our winners. So watch our Facebook, because on Thursday, LK Media is going to start dropping the winners. They're going to start dropping some of the footage, and I'm excited to see who they are. I'm excited to see our coaches of the year. And thank you to that committee that's made up of Jacob and Amanda Brandenburg, our own Sergio Franco, Joe off the script Flores, and then Coach Yenzer, Coach Jackson, and Coach Conger. All we couldn't do it without their help. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for that barbecue.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Some good barbecue. And
Yeah.
we're turning it into a full on production between OK Media and 33 Lead. We're getting it going. So it's gonna be good. It's got some hot new stuff coming out y'all this year. So
We're gonna definitely be rolling some of those outtakes and not such outtakes from our podcast. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm really excited to see the kids live and in person. This my favorite part is interacting with the kids.
Yeah. It's all
It should
about them, man.
It is. It should be fun. It's something that we, enjoy doing every year. And a lot of times we seem to always see the negative in the news, and you see the
Yeah.
negative about the towns, the negative about this, the negative about that. But really, there's more positive that goes on in these communities than there are negative. And so, one of the bright spots of every community are bright young leaders that are coming up through the school system that are going to leading their communities, and some moving back to their communities to lead. And so we're super pumped up to always continue to support and to honor these kiddos that go above and beyond, not only in school, in the athletic field of play, but also outside of school. And they represent their parents and their school well.
Yep.
Yeah. It's always really cool to hear what the nominators have said about the nominees. That's a really cool part.
Yeah.
I was gonna give a
Today,
shout out.
go
I
ahead,
was
Chavo.
gonna
I'm
give a
sorry.
shout out to those that nominate these student athletes. Good on them for being able to recognize when they have a leader in their organization and not being afraid of letting other people know that they have a leader out there.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I was gonna say that, shout out to all of the coaches and like Christian said, people that nominated, because this is not something that we decide. We go out to our community and our coaches, and if you don't nominate, we don't know.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, I was watching. So, in case y'all didn't know, the Permian Basin Playbook podcast is powered by LK Media, which is on YouTube. So, I was watching the YouTube today for some of the clips that we have loaded, and there was the interviews from 2 years ago. Aislinn was a junior. She was going into her senior year from Wink. Jade Workman was a senior from Permian.
Mhm.
Ivan Carrion was a senior at OHS. Chino
Right.
Navarrete was a senior at Monahans High. And Bryson Bennett was from Current. So we were doing all these interviews. I'm like, man, that is so cool. Like a lot of these kids already done some great things and they're only like a few years out of high school, and also I'm proud of our team for capturing that stuff and also recognizing who they are as people too. So it's just like it's so rewarding to see that and honor these kids. And I wish I was their age and getting to have somebody like the Permian Basin Playbook. Like how dope is that you can send your clips to us and we're going to run you a highlight for you for absolutely nothing, make it look really cool, and we're going to get it out to our social medias, or we're going to interview you and bring you on and talk to you, or we're going to talk to your parents, send us highlights and all those type of things, man. Like that's it's rewarding. I love it. I love doing that for West
And
Texas.
and you know what? On top of all of that, shout out to our families because for us to do this podcast every week, it takes time and research and honestly shutting down the house a little bit, our little own studios that we do. But our families knowing what this means to us and supporting us because we do it just because we love it.
Yeah,
That's all that there is for it is the love of the sports and the kids for us.
that's right. We deliver happiness just like the sign says
That's
back over
right.
there.
That's right.
All right, it's Joe's favorite time of the year. It's hoops time, baby.
Hoops town. That's right.
Y'all didn't know Coach Flores
Basketball.
was a coach in Texas high school for 14 years, and
Long time for me.
his brother Steve is finishing his 20th year as the head coach for the uh, Mojo Hoop Squad. So that's amazing, man. We got some good coach. Coach Surge was 11 years, I believe, is what he said last night. He
He
coached for
did.
11 years, and he's still, he's in a private sector now. He's still coaching. Um, but I just thought that was so cool. But anyways, let's get into some of these hoops, guys. I want to start with District 6 2A. In the boys is Fort Hancock, Iran, McCamey, Van Horn, and Wink, and they're not in district yet. But right now, Fort Hancock has somewhat of the better win loss record. But I don't know who they've played. That it depends on their own schedules. But of course, got to shout out the Wink Wildcats, those guys over there, and should be interesting. Joe, you ever what? There's some history right there. The Iran, McCamey, and Wink, right?
Oh yeah, man. When
Mhm.
it comes to really all of them sports, football, those little bitty. It goes back years with Iran, McCamey, Wink. There's just like a rivalry between
Yeah.
all the towns because they've been battling each other for so long. So yeah, it's a good battle, man. But basketball is Fort Hancock. I would say for amongst all those teams, historically speaking, Fort Hancock's kind of like Christian said. Fort Hancock is a little town that loves their basketball.
Oh,
And
really?
they like their basketball down there, and so usually, historically speaking, they're always a tough out.
Huh. Yeah, I know Coach Clay had thrown a little side shots over at some of our Wink crowd last year at the
Every
banquet.
year.
Banquet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so on the girls' side, of course, Van Horn, Wink, McCamey, Fort Hancock, and Iran. But right now, Van Horn for the season has one of the best records. Wink is just seems to be right under 500. followed by McCamey, then Fort Hancock and Iran. But they hadn't got into district yet. Things are going to change, players are going to change, and be exciting to see that District 6-2A get going. So shout out to those boys and girls over there. Do want to make note of our District 10 1A. We do have some folks that, of course, Rankin, we didn't do you that well in football, so we're going to try to do you right in basketball. But in that district, on the girls' side, Sanderson, Buena Vista, Grand Falls Royalty, Rankin, and Marathon. With right now, Sanderson has a 10-3 record.
Man,
We talked about them earlier. Yeah, yeah. Sanderson's currently 10-3. Grand Falls a 500 ball club, and Rankin is this is on the girls' side. Rankin and Marathon are rounding that out. Those standings on the win loss right now, but uh, you never know with those teams right there. It could flip any second.
gotta
That's
keep
true.
our eyes on Sanderson.
Yeah. On the boys' side, it only shows their win loss for Marathon only shows 1-0, and I'm not quite sure if that's just because they hadn't entered the wins or not, or if there's something that happened.
On
I
the
know
board,
why Rankins is showing 0-0.
Yeah, because all their best guys are
They're still playing football,
they're still
baby.
on. Yeah, yeah.
and I have a feeling that they're going to get finished with football this Wednesday, and they're going to be the team to beat in
They're
basketball
going to
too.
get real
Yeah.
good
That's
at hoops here in
crazy.
about 3 weeks. Yeah,
With
for
all their
sure.
D1 prospects.
Yeah.
I agree.
Grand Falls is under 500. Buena Vista is 7-2. They're over 500. Sanderson is under 500. So should be interesting again. We'll see how they end up once Rankin gets back some of their best athletes, I assume. All right, District 3 4A. Uh, actually, in the boys and the girls, Seminole can hoop. They got some good players, but in
Mhm.
that district, you have Seminole, Greenwood, Andrews, Fort Stockton, Pecos, and Monahans. And right now, Seminole is 14-0. Have you seen them play this year yet, Joe?
I haven't seen Monahan's Lobos play. No,
No, I'm talking
just
about Seminole.
No, I hadn't seen
No,
Seminole.
okay.
Seen any of that district yet, but I will soon. Soon enough, I will. But I just know, historically speaking, Seminole and Greenwood are always the top teams. Those two teams are always fighting for the district championship. It seems to me that Greenwood may be a little down, again, comparatively speaking to their history, but
Is
but
that maybe because some of their football players?
I don't know. Again, again just going off of history, Greenwood's they hadn't been like the other schools, where the other schools share a lot of their athletes.
Mm,
Really for years now. They kind of have their football guys. They have the guys that play basketball only, and they kind of, for some reason or another, don't share like most of these other schools.
Hmm.
So it's not the same athletes that you see playing football that are on the basketball court.
I think
And
I would
those
take
guys,
Lincoln Madrid to come run guard for me.
I'm sure he could dribble. I'm sure he could dribble.
He could
I
point
don't
him
know.
out.
Yeah, and I don't know why they don't. Because I don't, as you guys know, I don't understand why kids don't play anything that they like to play.
Yeah,
Because competition is competition, man. I think I say this all the time, and I used to say this whenever I coached. The older you get, it's not really about the sport anymore. Everyone likes football, but the older you get, man, you better start loving to compete a whole
yeah,
lot more than you love football, right?
yeah,
Because if you don't, then you won't be playing football. You just be
yeah.
seeing on TV like all the rest of us.
Hmm.
I
So
love hoops, man.
you
I
better love
played
compete.
through my junior year and then my senior year, after football, I already had some offers. So I'm like, nobody's recruiting me for hoops. It's going to give me an extra 2 months in the cage before the season gets going. So that was the first time that I ever really from December of my 18-year-old year was the first time that I'm like, okay, I'm a one sport guy. After that, I was just all baseball. But
you had one year that you guys had a really good season. Was that your freshman year?
for We were pretty good at basketball.
Basketball. Yeah.
We were. It was like a bunch of football players that were athletic. We weren't gonna light you up and make 4 rounds deep or anything, but we're gonna play good defense. We were gonna
For the
rebound.
hustle.
Yeah, we're gonna hustle and that type of deal. But I was never super. I was like, I love Dennis Rodman, right? Like I'm not a big scorer, but I'm gonna play defense and I'm gonna hustle and I'm gonna bump you if I need to.
Basketball is honestly it's hard to be good at. I always say being good at basketball is a lot like being a good hitter in baseball. Like it's just
Yeah.
hard to do. It looks easy.
And
It looks easy.
there's so much more to it than just scoring. Like
Yeah,
you can be a talented basketball player, and at the end of the night, you have 2 points, and you're a really good basketball player.
it's hard, man. There's so many things that go on when you have the basketball in your hand. Let's just I could sit here and talk about coming off the screen for an hour, but I'm not going to do that because I'll bore you guys.
Not me, bro. I love talking coaches.
Plus the people that are listening, but when you have the ball in your hand, oh, I would say 20 to 30 things can happen, right? And
Yeah,
so you got to think about 20 or 30. When you're coming off the screen, there's so many different ways to defend a screen. So think about this. If you're the guy coming off a screen, you got to figure out in a point split second how they're defending you and then make your decision and hope it's the right decision, right?
yeah,
And the only way you can do things like that is by playing often every day, and that's hard to do. And
yeah,
that in itself, that's what makes the game so hard is that you're not playing enough. And
yeah.
so I'll just keep it at that because not I'll just keep on talking about it.
Seeing the reps. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
Like
Uh,
swinging a bat, right? It looks
yeah,
easy. It's not.
no, it's
Hey,
terrible. It's hard.
not even just that, just the going back and forth on the damn court. I
Yeah,
played
it's
against
it's
fifth graders
yeah,
last year and needed oxygen
it's a
because
sprint
it was
and a long distance for sure,
it,
It is, man. It's
and
agility.
physical too.
yeah.
If you go ask, I read this article one time, and it was Sports Illustrated or something. Like 70 something percent of NFL linemen they play basketball in the off season for their agility,
Yeah,
because of all the agility that it takes playing defense, jumping, and all that stuff. And so,
cutting and all that. Yeah, yeah, it's tough, man. I love hoops, man. I love it. I would love to have coached like at a high level of basketball. That would have been fun. So, coach
coaching.
Seminole, going back to Seminole, I had them as ranked number 4 in 4A. Um, and I want to say that Lubbock Liberty was right behind them too.
Really.
Yeah.
That big tight end play basketball for Love and
Ch-
Liberty.
I don't know. I was thinking you were talking about Chase. We had talked to him about it, and then I had spoke
Oh,
to his dad, and his dad was like, "Hell no, he's not. He just signed a D1 letter of intent. He's not going to play basketball." Uh,
I'm sure if he tore his knee up, they'd still honor that contract.
yeah. Um, that Tristan Fleming is a junior guard. Coach Flores had mentioned him. When Coach Flores gives somebody a shout out from another team, that's
That's how you know
that's
they're the
saying
real deal.
something.
They
He
got some
doesn't get
players.
shout outs, period.
He don't even like us, I don't think,
No, barely.
They got some players. I think there's another Jordan Garcia is a pretty good player. They got what's the Kaysen K can't think of the other player. I think he's a point guard. Jeez, I can't think of his name now.
Was it Logan McCormick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
Logan
senior
McCoy.
guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got some players, and really they have a couple more that I guess just aren't playing for this year. I guess, and so but they have some good players over there in Seminole, and they'll be the team to beat
They could
in
probably use
this.
Buddha, run a little guard every now and then, change a pace guard. He's
That's
probably good at everything he does. Uh, but yeah, and apparently, remember, they said that McCormick is very loud in the huddle. I don't know if y'all remember that whenever we had the
Yeah.
boys on, it said that Logan is definitely one of the loudest guys. So that's cool, man. Another couple of guys in the district from Greenwood were Colton Rauman and Austin Snodgrass.
And the
They're supposed
Snodgrass
to be tough
brothers.
matchups.
Yeah, the Snodgrass brothers. I think there's a brothers. I think there's one that's a senior, then there's one his brother's on the varsity. He may be a
Those
freshman.
boys are just athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her older brother Ryan Snodgrass played on that last Greenwood team that went to the semifinals in football back in 2015, I think, or 17,
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. Man, he was tough to tackle, man. So
You know, they kind of remind me of the Raspberry Boys from Wall. Did you ever get to watch them play?
no,
They were on the football field. They were on the basketball court.
everywhere.
They were just big, athletic, and knew
Play
how to move.
anything.
Hmm.
There's so
Yeah.
few of us, There's so few of us that are like
So few of us. Yeah, I know. Like
that.
before we started recording, me and Joe were reminiscing back to the first time either one of us had dunked the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that went, Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad there wasn't any social media back then, right?
Mine was on the little Tykes
Yeah.
Yeah.
basketball
Right?
goal.
Yeah.
All those 6 foot goals.
He's over there
6 foot.
Yeah.
dunking on Walker, poor little
Yeah.
buddy.
Hey, I am the horse champion in my family.
Oh,
Well,
there
I
you
hadn't
go.
played you.
Hey,
Scared
I
of
got a
you?
hoop on the street. We're
Bro, I
out
can
there every
shoot.
day.
I can shoot. I can shoot. I got to come off a screen like Joe says because I can't get free on my own. But I got to come off a screen.
That's awesome. That's
Anything else
awesome.
for the boys on the District 3-4A?
No, but you can just go ahead and repeat that on the girls' side. It's going to be the same thing. The
Yeah.
Seminole Maidens are going to be the team to beat. They still got one of the, no, I forgot the last name with the Seminole coach. Is it Danley or something like that? But his daughter, they were both playing last year. I think one graduated, another one's still playing. She can play. They got girls who can play in Seminole. So
Yeah. So the boys are 14-0, and the girls show to be 14-1.
They've only lost to Wall.
Wall of all people. And
Okay.
but
Hmm.
yeah, and they've beat Legacy, they beat Paladuro, they beat Friendship Memorial. But they
Oh
lost
wow,
to Wall. So apparently Wall
Wall's got a pretty
has some
good
hoopers
team
over
too.
there. The girls squad, the Lady Hawks can hoop.
yeah,
If you beat Seminole, you can hoop.
they're pretty good. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Seminole girls are 14-1, pretty impressive. And then okay, so when we were following Andrews in volleyball, they had a girl on the team by the name of Danley Fisher, and she was an excellent volleyball player for them. And I saw like 2 weeks later, she was the team's high scorer that night in basketball. Like 3 days later, she puts on the different gym shoes and she's out there like getting buckets. So I thought that was impressive that, volleyball standout and a baller, uh, which is impressive. No tell she probably goes and wins 100 in track or probably plays softball or something.
Yeah, it's one of those all arounds.
Yeah. So cool, man. Seminole girls are 14-1, Greenwood's 8-8. Andrews is just under 500. The Monahans, Lady Lobos are just under 500. Fort Stockton is about 5 games out, and Pecos they show to not have played as many games as everyone else, but currently showing a losing record. Uh, but again, they could have scheduled some very tough teams to try to get them ready for districts, or some of the wins that some people have piled up could be from lower end teams. That you just never know sometimes in basketball, but always a
Did
good
I
district.
did I read right? Is Wink and Monaghan's both having tournaments this weekend, or was that basketball tournaments?
I know the Monaghan's Chamber of Commerce basketball tournament starting on the 18th through the
18th.
20th.
So I
I'm
read
not
this one
sure
in
about
Wink as
Wink.
well, but I didn't know if that was
Yeah, I don't
accurate.
know because Wink. I read something that they were having some
That's
gym
some construction going on.
construction going.
Hmm.
Yeah, nothing, not an issue, but just like a project a current
Right.
project going on.
It's whatever's left of that bond, I think.
Right.
Yeah, because I want to say when we went to do awards in May, they had a lot of construction going on. They and Pecos.
Yeah. They'll
Because
have some.
Eagles.
What's up?
A little side note on the Pegasus Eagles. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Donald Hop the Walker. Have you guys ever heard
Yes.
of
Yes.
Donald Hop Walker? He passed away today, and so
Mm.
Oh man.
yeah, for those of you guys, most people don't know Donald Hop Walker. He's probably one of the greatest athletes to ever come through not only Pecos but really just West
Yeah.
Texas.
Mm.
Such a nice guy. He played softball with our dads for many years, and got word that he passed away this morning. So,
Oh man. You had
uh,
mentioned a couple. I think you had mentioned he had been sick or something
yeah,
recently.
yeah, he had been sick, so say some prayers for his family. But
R.I.P. Man.
yeah, man, he was great. He's a great guy, but man, you got the stories I've heard of him. You know, this guy was all state in everything he did. He won everything. Got drafted by the Oakland A's in the first round or
Oh
something like
wow.
that. Yeah, yeah, you know, just an amazing athlete.
Stud.
Yeah, I think he had his choice, or he would. I forgot who recruited him in football, who recruited him in basketball, and he had just endless amount of choices and getting drafted, I think, by the Oakland A's. And so, anyways, he's a great, great athlete in West Texas, a gym. And, you know, I tell people all the time, Pecos is a town full of gyms, man, you know, but they're passing away now. So, anyways, you know, again, prayers to his family.
For
Yeah, for
sure.
sure, man. All right. Move on to District 26A. The boys. I don't know what's
Double
going to happen in this district, man. Uh,
Central's
they've
looking like the powerhouse right
right,
now.
Central showing at 14-2, but look, and you look at Permian, uh they don't have a winning record, but they've played some really good teams and they're a good ball club. Uh, so we're just gonna see, I mean, like right now, statistically, Midland High is 6-9, but how does Midland High compare to Permian? We're gonna find out. But and I've seen some of the kids on Permian, Javarian Beck, KJ Miller. He dropped 50 the other
Mhm.
night against Estacado, and they were just going back and forth, bucket to bucket to bucket to bucket. It was unreal. There's some talent. There's some talent there.
Yeah, I think Permian Panthers, I mean, I would say they're not like they have been in the past. You know, they kind of most of the time are the cream of the crop, you know, in the district. Them, you know, they've been Friendship, but I think Friendship now is not in the district anymore.
Yeah, next
And
year they're 5A.
yeah, so but I think you know, so they're not going to be very strong. You know, Permian is just not deep, so they're going to have to stay healthy.
They're a
And
young team too, right? They lost a lot of
they're
their
very,
seniors.
very young and not very
Yeah.
deep. Like I say, they probably
Yeah.
have 7, 8 kids. Central's going to be the team to beat for sure. And then, of course, you know, you got OHS, Middle High, and Legacy that, you know, it seems like they get better every year, but really just can't really get to the level of where Odessa Permian's at, you know. So we'll see. I think they've closed the gap a little bit, but Odessa Permian still has the better players. They're just not as deep, and that could be an issue as the season gets going.
They
I
got a
think
pretty
Will
good
went
coach
to
over there.
the friendship game last year or
He's
the
decent. He's decent.
central game. He's all right.
We went to the friendship game.
We all did right
Yeah, I
last
did
year.
media coverage for him.
Yeah.
And Friendship had a guy last year that was committed to Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Can't think of his name, but
I'd
I
have to look back
remember.
at it.
Oh, Coach Flowers still won't let you mic him up though.
I know it, man. I'm gonna have to insinuate him somehow.
But guys, do you really have to mic him up? You can hear his ass from that
I did
from
get
the
some good audio. I did get some good audio. Uh, I won't repeat it, but I did get some good audio because
Like
I don't
on a
want to piss him
timeout,
off.
slip the mic like underneath a bench or something, a chair where he don't know. And
Well, see, what I did was I set up a camera behind the bench And then I took my camera and I walked over here. So if he saw me, he thought I was way over there. He didn't even realize there was a camera right behind him.
Good reporting. Good.
Underestimating the sneakiness.
I think LK Media needs to invest in one of those boom mics that you can like reach across the.
Okay, Chavo, I will do it, but you got to be my boom sound guy.
I'll be your grip number
You
one.
walk behind me, bro. You got to walk behind me. Yeah.
Christian can't reach you.
It's
Hey,
got a
he can
pole.
dunk, Busta.
I
He
don't
can
need
dunk.
to.
He's got hops.
I want to see that. I just pictured Nacho Libre.
Messed up. Come on, that's messed up. Did y'all know? Remember Jabraylon Edwards from Midland Lee?
Remember that
To
name?
Braylon, yeah,
Big time wide receiver. He hoops too.
there you
He's
go.
on their roster. Yeah, he hoops too. He'll be good for them.
They got a couple other bigs, Tristan Turner and Javarian Starling
Yes.
at Midland Lee. They got a good,
Yes.
they got a good coach there too. I know Coach Settle. He runs a really good program. He really likes to get involved with how the kids are playing. He's just like one of those passionate coaches that is passionate about the game and doing what you need to play the game the right way. So
Yeah.
shout out Coach Chris Settle.
Both those dudes are listed at like 6'8" and 6'6" power forwards. The
Yeah.
the the Turner and Starling kid. And Coach Steve had mentioned those guys too. So it be interesting, man. On the girls' side, Permian currently has the best record um, in that district, and then it's followed by Central, Friendship, Legacy, Midland High, and OHS. Now, everybody in that division, in the district, excuse me, has winning records. Again, they hadn't played each other yet. We're not in district. This is all preseason or pre-district, but everybody has a winning record currently.
It's gonna be
What is
interesting.
what is there?
So
Look at it. I'm trying to look at
Permian
Permian.
shows 15-3. Central's 12-4. Friendship is 12-6. Midland Lee is 9-6. Midland High is 9-6, and OHS is 9-8.
Well, that's good for Odessa Permian. Coach Ellis is our head coach down there. He's a good dude, and I've known him for a long time. So he's a good guy. He does a good job over there. It's tough at Odessa Permian, especially on that girls' end. It's kind of been a cultural thing over. They've been very good, in a long, long time when it comes to basketball. So he's got in there. He's been there a couple of years now. He's been getting after it, trying to get them girls turned around, and it looks like he's starting to turn them around. So hats off to Coach Ellis.
Yeah, I was looking today at the Lady Rebels for Lee, and I think she's either plays the 4 or the 5. But senior Amanda Onyematsu, forgive me
Hmm.
if I say that wrong, but she's been featured a lot recently, what I could see in the media. So I think she's going to be a key contributor for them. So it could be interesting in that District 2-6A. I'm excited to see it unfold.
Especially when they start district play.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, there's also Kaylin Flemings. Um, was another girl that was listed that I think could be a big time um, player in that district. So it's going to be exciting, man. We definitely want to have more interaction with a lot of the hoopers in the area. Want to have some more news and note spots with those ladies and gentlemen to bring them on, and then if you got some clips, somebody throws down a dunk, or we got a sweet little three, or we got a buzzer beater or something, send it over to us, man. We'll try to get it on for sure. So
Hey, so I don't know if we haven't mentioned a couple other teams to watch for this season. On the boys' side, I don't, or maybe we have Presidio is going to be tough, and
yeah,
they're around here in West Texas. On the boys' side, they've been tough. Coach Romero over there does a great job. And then also, we always talk about the Kahoma girls softball team. but the Tacoma girls basketball team is always really good as well.
Yeah.
And so they're probably going to be at the
That's
lower
a
level.
that's usually a pretty tough district too. It's
It
uh
is.
Kahoma, Forsan, Stanton.
Stanton.
Yeah.
They're all some pretty big good ballers.
And
All right. It's a
prideful
good
communities
basketball
too,
district.
man.
It's a
Hmm.
good basketball district. That's exactly correct. Probably the best basketball district on the girls' side in the area.
You know,
It's
I watched. We were very proud of Presidio last year and the run they made in hoops, and I watched them play against Shallow Water here. And Coach Romero is, first of all, he's a big dude. You know, like he's a big cat. And but something that I noticed, like I watch how kids are on the bench, the guys that are not in. I watch how the kids that aren't scoring, how they react for their teammates. You know, like I watch little things like that, and I wanted to be on their team. I like they loved each other. They loved each other. And then whenever they beat, who did they beat in, was it at OC or Midland College that they, or Permian maybe, in the playoffs that they had the buzzer beater. It was like a tip. It was a tip, retip.
It was in Greenwood. It was in
It
Greenwood.
was in Greenwood. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember who they beat.
I was at that game. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
oh,
forgot
to
who it
see
was.
those guys run on the court and hug each other, man, I wanted to be on their team so bad. I
Yeah,
just love the culture.
they lost a lot of those guys, but they got their point guard. Their point guard, they lost a lot of seniors last year, but their
Yeah,
point guard, I think of his name, but he's back and he was the engine that made it go last year, and he's
he's the
still there.
straw that
That
stirs
little
it
that
up, huh?
stirs a drink, man. And so he's still there and he's tough. He's a good player, so
Yeah.
he'll lead them for another pretty good little run this year.
I think one of
Crazy.
their bigs actually signed with the small school
Really,
last
yeah.
year. Yeah.
I just looked up Cahoma's district. Talk about a salty district. It's Kahoma, Crane, Stanton, Brownfield, Denver City, Compass, and Lamesa.
Hmm.
And Denver City, La Mesa are generally pretty good hoop towns more than they are like football towns.
Denver
I want to say
City's
Denver City beat Brownfield last year.
I don't know. I
I
don't
really
remember.
think they either knocked off Brownfield or they knocked off Levelland in basketball last year. One of the games. Look it
I don't
up.
know. Shit. Yeah, I don't know
Mhm.
about that.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to make out. We're gonna try to make some
they're
games.
15-1 right now. Kahoma girls are
Really,
15-1, and they've only lost to Cisco.
Yeah, so I'm saying the Tacoma girls are going to be tough to beat this year.
Hmm.
Tough. So
I do
I made a
plan on doing
list.
some media. I talked to Coach Flores last night at Permian. He said, "Come to any game I want, but I can't mic him up." I'm like, "All right, I'll take the deal." So we'll create some content for those
Take what you
guys.
can get.
Yeah, I'll take what I can get. But if there's anybody else that wants us to go and stop in at their games, man, that's one thing we try to do is support all those teams in West Texas with all of our board members. We try to get out and support as many of the teams as possible. We want to go watch you play, man. We're gonna just show up. We're
For
gonna go
sure.
watch you play, you know? So
I made a list of the some teams I want to try and catch.
say that again, Busta. You were kind of cutting out.
I said I made a list of some of the teams we're talking about that I want to try and catch some
Yeah,
games.
yeah, definitely. So, again, we are a group, a nonprofit organization that creates funds for student athletes and coaches. If coaches get into any financial situations, we like to help them out, which we have done this year. As a matter of fact, there's been a coach with some health issues that we've been able to help. And we're very proud of that. And then we've got scholarships to give to student athletes that are going to move on in life. And hopefully, this little bit of financial change that we got can help them out for their future. And then, but as always, we need your help. We need some sponsorships. We need some donations. We will help you in your advertising and promotion of your business or organization. I can promise you that. We will help you and we will mention you as much as possible. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us at 33lead.com. Contact us and somebody will reach out to you and we'll see about getting something taken care of. But as always, thanks to HZ Services, uh, Texas Farm Bureau, Double T Services, and who am I missing, guys?
Kodiak.
Kodiak Gas Services. My fault. My
Well, yeah,
fault,
I guess.
DJ, one time. Yeah, Kodiak Gas, man. Thank you to those guys. And guys, man, it was good to see you guys. I feel spoiled. I got to see you last night. Got to see you again tonight. I might just call you, FaceTime you for the hell of it tomorrow. So, but
I might see you
hey,
at the Brownfield game.
yeah, for sure. As always, play hard, lead strong. That's the 33 lead way. This has been episode 35. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.